TGIF Warriors, P.C.E. today. Cable a lot weaker than Euro. How you doing, Mike? Steve, AJ, Ingmar, hi Blake, hi Kman, James, Brand, Hugo. Okay. So what are the whisper numbers for PCE team? Here we are with the dollar trying to hold. You know, this black line came into play a lot. This 97.30 area here, here, and then again on Friday, and then again here. You guys could hear me, right?
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Oh my
Good
God.
morning.
Yeah, I had my volume all the way up.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Did we
Yeah,
just
good
launch your
morning.
speakers?
No, my eardrums.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
It's all right, man. So,
Huh?
we have kind of a, you know, I still think we're going down. We'll see what happens with PCE. That's going to be the decider, right, guys? And yen holding the support 670. We'll see. I still think there's lower numbers coming. So basically, I don't think I'm not ready to buy the dollar down here. I don't know if it's going to hold or not. Maybe fade it if we get a weak, we get some type of stronger number. What's the whisper number, guys? Okay. Like
Morning
what?
there on the what, the PCE?
Yeah.
I don't know the whisper, but the expectations I see on the calendars are for a tick higher on the core PCE and as expected on the headline, but it should come in a tick higher if we believe all the calculations that been made by very clever people.
Okay. Well, we're back at major support here too. So yen's at that support level. So is the 10-year. I also think this is going to take out these lows, go to about 410 was the measured move off the head and shoulders. So this is going to be a big area. So here's a question. If we get a benign number and yields come down, what are the expectations for everything here, actually? What are you looking for today?
We're still in month end as well, so we can't exclude any of those flows to play a role, of course, and I think that's what has pushed sterling down. Euro sterling is quite high, but for the PCE, I think if it comes out as expected, the market is really going to look forward to the long Labor weekend, and apart from month-end flows, there's not a lot of people going to get involved anymore.
Yeah.
And I just keep on what you're doing. Probably equities close at the high, dollar a bit on the defensive, and
Yeah,
then
the commodity currencies have turned out to have become the relative weakness, like relative strength in
yeah,
Aussie.
relative strength.
Yeah, and Canada's rally is
Mm.
pretty feeble. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Oh, we do have second quarter GDP out of Canada as well. But again, I mean,
Okay.
it's rear view mirror stuff, huh? But since we
Yeah.
have and PCE and in the US and that GDP number in Canada, maybe the dollar CAD will be on the move, and that's possible. But bounces are not impressive right now on the dollar CAD, I'd say.
Yeah, they're weak.
Yeah. So any okay print in the Canadian GDP and even an as expected number or as prior number on the PCE may put a little more pressure on the dollar CAD perhaps. It has to get back above 137.90, 138.15 to really call this only a correction in dollar CAD. That's what I was talking about on the flow show too.
Okay.
Yeah, Euro
Um,
sterling, I think a lot of it is month end, but it's gone a while. It did hold the lows that it had to that it had
yeah,
to hold in those low 86s, but I haven't seen much chatter also saying that, oh yeah, the market is selling cable massively or selling sterling massively because of the one or the other thing, Reeves or any shenanigans in fiscality or so. Anything, I haven't seen anything new anyway. So I'm going to say this is a lot to do with month end in euro sterling.
because we're getting closer and closer. Cable
Yeah.
Cable seems to give it back a lot easier now than Euro.
I think
Euro's not giving it back.
134.20 and then 134.20 and then 133.65.70 or 65.70, especially on 133 is going to be important. Very important.
Okay. And do you have a view on the end going into a long weekend?
It's holding, huh?
Yeah.
It is holding. It's holding down there. But again, I think ranges for as long as those yen crosses are roughly holding up. We've seen CAD, Aussie, Kiwi, Euro yen holding. It's probably going to keep that dollar yen in a range really.
Okay.
I don't have a clear view on the dollar yen, and it's coming back onto my radar for a potential break of either side. But I'm not doing anything in it. I just can't
Yeah.
for the moment.
Okay. Gold silver ratio. It's a coin toss.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Under 86 is going to be a big deal, I guess. Maybe that's how you get into the 60s. This is a 20-point range. So if we break down, but looks
That
like it
would be a
wants to
massive
correct.
move.
It looks like it wants to correct first, low
That
A,
would be a
B,
massive
C.
move, right?
Yeah, that'd be a huge
That
move.
can't. I don't think that can happen uh, on the way up in both. That could only happen if gold lets it go and gold really collapses. I think it's
Yeah.
the likelihood of gold silver to go down is probably a big move lower in gold. Yeah?
Yeah. Gold has been, I mean, that's the trend in the gold silver ratio. So, Blake, how'd it go on your webinar yesterday? And what are you thinking today?
Well, it was just I was in there as a fill-in for somebody that was out. You know how it is. It's the holidays and
Yeah.
holiday and or the end of summer, and we have a holiday weekend coming up. So they called me up for like a last minute, like, hey, can you step in? And you know how it is right now. We're tap dancing, right, Dale? It's like the market's slow. We're waiting on PCE. Everybody's waiting on PCE before they go on holiday. And even if you don't live in the U.S. and you live outside the United States, it's going to be kind of a slow, longer holiday or longer weekend anyway. Everybody's just trying to get out for the last weekend of summer. So it's kind of like, well, this is moving, that's moving, and that's pretty much it. And so it's been pretty quiet, but the show was good. I'll tell you, I was listening to your, you think that the dollar might be ready for some further downside here. The one thing that I do want to point out about the dollar is it's held up really well despite the rally that we've seen in equities. It's held up really well despite the rally that we've seen in gold. And I think you are right as far as today. The market's going to be looking at PCE and making its decision from there. And plus, Kman had mentioned it is end of month today. And unfortunate, Kman, we don't have any good good uh, flow data. Not that there isn't any data out there. It's just everybody's thinks that the end of month flows are going to be somewhat benign, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what the most models were showing. And and a lot could have been done already. People don't want not wanting to wait for exactly the PCE to come and disturb their month-end flow. So maybe a lot has been done already. I'm really. I've just noticed that noted that the mountain flows could still be there, and look at the clock. If you see any strange moves, it's probably the month end, and that's it basically. Because it's okay. It should be to the side of rather dollar selling, but the signals are just not big enough to hang on to anything. So if everything has been done already, you could see the opposite move. This wouldn't be a first.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I wanted to point out a couple of things that are happening right now. I mean, so and Dale, you might have seen this as well. Sterling's looking a little heavy up here. We're nearing triangle support, but and actually you're seeing in the Euro Sterling. I just got out of my longs just a few minutes ago. As we are nearing this channel resistance, excuse me, and 50% retracement. If you're in the Forex Analytics chat room, you knew where that resistance was coming in on the Euro Sterling, but you also knew I got out of it if you're in the trades room. So one of the benefits of being in our community is being in the trades room, being able to see what Kman's doing, see what positions I'm in, seeing what I'm running, what I'm closing out here, and all of it's a running position. Whether it's making money or losing money. And believe me, I do take losses just like everybody else, as every trader does. I keep everything updated here so you can, constantly see what I'm in. And I took it off, even though I'm overall bullish Euro Sterling. I mean, this does look like that we're eventually going to break higher, towards 90 pence. What do you think about the Euro Sterling overall, K-Man?
I think we're in a range now. I really think we're in a range right now, and we are going to wait. I have to wait for to really see what's to happen, and just as the rest, basically. There is if you okay, if you think that there are some green shoots or stabilizing in Europe, and there is a risk further down the road for the sterling, yeah, I maybe overall I still agree that it's looking more likely sooner or later to resume the upside, but it's very possible that we have to wait because the Reeves budget, the autumn budget, may only come in November, and so that's another 2 months from now. I think we're going to range trade for a while.
All
We
right. That means,
When you trade both ends.
got to be real skeptical up here against this is a weekly chart, up against these the 8750 low. I would assume though, if we ever make it above 8760,
Oh yeah,
this is gonna be squeeze city. Really that this would be a big breakout to the upside, and then we're talking a much longer term range. And I think that's eventually going to happen, but it's
yeah, but
hard. Go ahead.
As Mike just points out there on the chat, there's also that French budget drama overhanging euro maybe. So that's why also one of the reasons I think we're just going to stick in the range now. But that French drama should see either a resolution. I think it's on the 8th of September, so it's the week after next that they are going to vote. I think Bayrou is going to have a lot of trouble to find support. The best he can get is that people abstain from voting, and so he doesn't get the whole rest of the French political scene against him. That would be the for him the best outcome possible. If that happens, then yeah, the euro could do even better on the crosses. But right now, yeah, I think that may be an overhang for some of the euro.
What's interesting is that took down the Euro Swiss most of this week. I think that was like what weighed on the Euro Swiss, but I've read a lot of bank reports that are just kind of looking past it now, kind of saying so what kind of situation. But if things do improve, as you're pointing out for the prime minister, maybe the euro Swiss will, pop right back up to 94 cents. I added pretty aggressively, yeah, yesterday or 2 days ago to my euro Swiss, down at 29, I think is where I got at 93.29, just below the 618. I played it off more of a false breakdown on the other day. And so when it broke down below here and then popped right back up, I ended up, adding aggressively down here. So I got a decent cost average now on the Euro Swiss long. Is I still overall like playing that, especially with Swiss inflation coming in next week, which, I think is going to be a bit of a mover for Switzerland, as that data only comes out once a quarter, eh?
Mm,
I think it's once a quarter.
the S&B meeting is once a quarter. I don't think CPI comes out once a quarter.
Okay, you know what? That's that's it. Well, I still think it's going to be a mover. I still think that, it's going to allow it's going to give the Swiss National Bank some fodder to potentially bring rates into negative territory. Um, a couple other things that we should note just going into this weekend. And Dale, you've probably been keeping an eye on cryptocurrencies. See, Bitcoin's back below 10,000. This is with stocks at all-time highs. How's that? What do you read into that at all?
Uh, they seem to have disconnected a bit. Um, I'm hearing numbers for potential low around 104, 103. I mean, even though we're declining, it doesn't look impulsive either. It looks corrective.
Well,
So,
104, 103, this is the 618 that comes in at
okay,
104. So that
maybe
makes
that's, yeah,
lot or excuse me, 161% extension, but also a 38% retracement of this entire move. So that to me does make sense. The question is, what's Bitcoin going to do if stocks at some point in the month of September uh see a little bit of selling pressure, as seasonality takes hold. That's one thing that I want to make sure that everybody is thinking about as we get into this next month. September is typically not the best month for stocks. Actually, September and October you tend to see, some selling, and then you get your. I know a lot of people don't like to hear the Christmas rally, but you get a holiday, end of year rally usually starts to take hold sometime in November, December. So September and October tend to be a little bit heavier months for the market. And considering where we're at in the equity markets, you know, I'm still standing by that we are completing, if not completed already, wave five of a very big Elliott wave move up from the lows in 2022. So I don't know if this is the high or the high is printed sometime next week or in the next 2 weeks, but I think we're getting close, Dale. Um,
yeah.
Steve, I see that Steve is here. Steve, how you doing?
I'm good.
So how are you reading the current environment? What's on your radar right now?
I think the dollar is in danger.
Like grave danger?
Yeah, potentially, yes.
Okay.
Potentially the trapdoor can open
Ooh.
with the developments we're seeing from the central bank direction. I think the danger of a big move lower is much, much higher than a big move higher.
So we have a central bank that is being cannibalized by Trump appointees slowly but surely. Is that your biggest concern right now, that they're gonna be able to lean really dovish?
They would lean very dovish in any case because central banks have been excessively dovish for 20 years. But I think they'll go overboard with it, yes.
Okay. All right. So you don't let me ask you this question, and Kman, I'm going to ask you the same question because I ask this with a lot of people I meet. We're coming into how should I say, a kind of a fork in the road, if you will, with central bank policy. As you got inflation that we're going to find out obviously what the PCE is showing us here in a moment, but you got inflation that's probably a little higher than the market than the Fed wants, especially PCE running closer to 3%. But we have a situation, maybe we might know more next week, where the labor market continues to cool. So you got a cooling economy and stronger inflation. Where is the Fed? What's the Fed going to focus on, Steve? What do you think? And then, Kman, I'm going to come to you with that same question.
The Fed is going to focus on the thing that the Fed always focuses, saving the government from doing its job, meaning trying with monetary policy to mitigate somewhat the problems of fiscal policy. So it's going to go extra loose. And of course, the thing they're always using in the US, because they have that ability, is that mistakenly the Fed has a dual mandate. So they can supposedly focus every time on whatever mandate is more convenient to focus on. So in this case, of course, guess which mandate they will be focusing on more? Jobs, right? So whatever downtick we see in jobs, that's going to be the excuse to go pedal to the metal for
Cut by 3%.
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, well, and even in the face of stronger inflation, not and the unknowing of what tariffs are gonna bring.
Yeah,
Hey,
they never
Blaine.
cared about inflation anyhow. I mean,
Yeah.
inflation is they only cared to disguise part of inflation, because inflation is what vast majority of the countries need to make an unviable debt less unviable.
So, Dale, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of the fence as Steve, even though I think the euro could go to your 120 level. It's possible, but I think the euro's in trouble. And we look at
Really?
everything through the lens of central banks and rates. But this peace process that President Trump got going in Alaska, and that he didn't need a ceasefire, we're moving closer and closer to where Russia's hitting European targets, U.S. targets in Ukraine. I think that ocean is going to be a big difference as far as what currency you want to be in, because things are escalating over there, and that's something that could be bigger than the Fed. So, I see things deteriorating over there, not getting better.
So you don't think that the President Trump is going to get the Nobel Peace Prize then?
Not for negotiating World War III between Russia and Europe. No.
Shame on you, Dale. Shame on you. All right. Thank you for your point of view, and you think that Europe's going to be in a little bit more of hot water. Kman, what do you think about what the Fed's going to do? What would they rather fight? They're gonna take the inflation fight or the weaker economy fight?
I think they will focus on jobs, their own jobs, at the Fed, because after
That's a good
after
comment.
Cook,
Yeah.
Powell,
Who cares about the freaking data?
Waller yesterday, he's really now putting his candidacy more and more forward. No, but I mean, Powell already told us, and people were waiting for Jackson Hole to get the confirmation. But Powell already told us on the prior FOMC meeting that his focus has shifted to jobs. So inflation, if you lower interest rates by a quarter, 0.5%, that's not going to do much on inflation really. But if it supports entrepreneurs to find cheaper money, it's probably that what they will be looking for. And
Yeah, although cheap money is not the solution, it's the basis of the problem.
the what?
Cheap money has not been the solution, but the cause of the bigger issues to the economy over time.
Yeah, but then that you can't find that back in equity markets, right? Because or even in growth, which has been defying the laws of gravity for compared to other parts of the world. But I mean, maybe that's a
I
discussion
don't
over
think
over
growth has
15 or 20
defined.
years, maybe. But
Kman, I don't think growth has defined the laws of gravity because the way we measure inflation by skewing inflation at the exact same time, since the inflation deflator is the last thing to calculate when you're calculating the GDP, in the way we are skewing inflation, that's the exact same way we're skewing growth. So I don't think growth has been defining inflation. Just the way we report growth has been defining gravity. Sorry, just the way we report.
yeah, I get you. But anyway, the question was, what will they focus? I think is jobs. Um,
Yes,
in inflation.
agreed.
Inflation, actually, they can do the opposite of what they should do. But if the result of inflation is that yields go higher, they could actually step in and do QE again and buy bonds to try and bring the yields down. It's not going to help anything, but rather than hike rates on the back of inflation, because they would hate to have to raise rates, and I've been saying that for months and months. But the bar is lower to cut rates if the job market cools down further.
Well, Dale, just I'm going to go back to your comment really quick, and thank you guys for your inputs there. Matter of fact, you want to talk about there's a preliminary hearing for Lisa Cook today. So we're gonna get a kind of an update and see some opinions about Fed's Cook here, and her criminal charges of getting a mortgage before she was Fed governor illegally. So it's going to be interesting to hear some of the preliminary statements that go out regarding uh, Cook, and maybe those that focus on the Fed jobs, as we were just joking about. We're about three minutes away from PCE data. Kman, what are you looking to trade today? Are you looking to trade anything? Like if I know, if it's a strong dollar, weak dollar, what are you thinking?
Um, Strong dollar, maybe dollar yen back to 47.80, 48.15, maybe. Weak dollar, I think gold continues to push. Cable may stand up. And the commodity currencies, the Aussie Kiwi still relatively big.
Oh, wait,
Not making any
you were
headway, but
talking.
still big.
You and Dale were talking about this. I want to make sure everybody sees this. If you go to a weekly chart of the Aussie and go back to 2013, I was going to say 11, which is over here, 2013, that lower trend line, or that excuse me, that descending trend line comes in literally about 40 pips higher than where we're at right now.
Mm.
So if we make our way back up towards, I would say roughly
But you've
66
cut the
cents.
you've cut the tops there on with your
Yeah,
trend line.
yeah, this one you go through that top there,
2021,
but you
2022.
you have more connections, you have more points of contact lower. That's why I sever through that high. You have to go find as many tops as you can go through. The more touches you have, the more stronger that trend line is going to be on a longer term basis. Yes, you had a brief break above it back in October of 2024, but if you look at all the 2021s, touches in 2022, they come through a little bit lower than where we're at right now. Excuse me, a little bit higher than where we're at, around 66 cents. And then also you can see how we turned there already this year. So that trend line, in my opinion, is more important as we get closer to 66 cents. But I wanted to bring that up because I do think it's important on any rally, especially if the Aussie continues to break higher. I'm going to pull up. We have the dollar index to the left, yields in the middle, S&P to the right, and let me pull up the data flash. And how much time do we have? We have 20 seconds, so let me grab that data flash. I'm going to move it over. As Kman mentioned earlier, we do have Canadian GDP as well that we should be focusing on. Where is that? There it is. There's that. Here's this. And
Here we go.
here we go.
Deficit of 100.
Canadian GDP slightly
Bigger
weaker.
deficit, bigger deficit. 2.9 as expected, 2.6. Oh, everything as expected.
-0.1%.
All right, we are seeing a little bit of dollar weakness come in.
Whoa, quite weak annualized GDP Q2 for Canada.
Yeah, it is a weaker piece of data. So we're not getting much of a dollar reaction. But the dollar CAD might actually make a move, which is good for me. I'm just talking about myself at this point. Not necessarily for anybody else is good for me. But yeah, sorry.
That's good.
I'm glad I got a little kick out of Dale here. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm playing the dollar CAD on the long side. If you guys don't know why, we had an ABCD completion, 50% retracement, a lot of horizontal support down here, close to 618. The risk reward to be on the long side is good down here. So I'm long a little. So there you go. There you go. All right. Well, dang. Well, I guess what we have to say from here is I hope you guys have a nice long weekend. Let's not forget the Flow Show will be broadcasting on Monday morning. So for those of you that listen to the Flow Show every day, make sure that you guys are listening there. And even if you're in the US or in somewhere else, and that we have a long weekend, just remember Ryan and Kman are going to be there on Monday. During the day, we will not have the F.A.C.E show, we will not have Morning Edge or the Daily Roundup. So just letting you guys all know about that. Also, one last thing, and I want to get comments from everybody else once I'm done saying this. We have just a couple of days till September 1st. Our trader funding programs, if you want instant funding or the one-step assessments, 30% off up until the 1st. You got to take advantage of it this week and only, because if you want to take advantage of higher volatility that's coming in September, October, which it's coming, then you want to get funded, have more capital to trade, risk somebody else's money. Great. That's what you should do. Also take advantage of the 40% off. So you can be in our chat rooms with myself, Kman, Ryan, everybody else. We have so many great traders in that chat room, posting what they're doing in the trades room. Also, having a great community to talk to and having people do bounce ideas off all day long and have all these side conversations. Do it here. All right. So Kman, what are your thoughts as we are wrapping up the week? What are you going to be thinking here in the next hour?
As I said in the room, they are a set of have a great long weekend data. Yeah, really. I mean, and I don't really know what to do, Blake. No, at least not in the short term. I'm still tiny longs. Aussie from the other day, below 64.80. I'm a little short euro sterling now, and I keep my base long, the base long gold as well that I bought quite a way lower earlier in the week, and that's it. Really, that's it. I can't feel pushed to put a lot of fresh stuff on the basis of those data anyway. Canada,
Here's a little, just real quick.
Canada
Here's a
though
little
is
freebie.
weakening. Canada
I was
is
just going to
weakening.
say, here's a little freebie for those that are not subscribers. I just closed out all of my dollar longs just now. So that's for all. If you guys want to know exactly how I post things, so this is it. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt there, Kman, but I'm just updating everybody because I know we have a lot of our listeners, a lot of our traders from our chat room are listening in right now. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. I just wanted to let everybody know.
I am done, mate. I'm done.
Okay. Well, Steve, oh, he already left. Dale, what are your thoughts? What are you going to be thinking an hour from now? By the way, it's raining here in Phoenix.
Yeah, good. To cool
Yeah,
it
I know
down
we
for you
need
a
it.
little bit. Well, I'm taking home long Aussies, have a lead on it, and short yen. So
Well,
that's what
okay.
and long nat gas.
So you're gonna stay long Aussie dollars going into this major multi-year trend line.
Yeah, I'm looking
Hmm.
for 680.
Well, I will
That's
say,
right near a little bit above your 1.618.
I'll tell you, if we get up there, uh, I would think that's a major breakout. One of here's the thing, and maybe we should talk about this, and I want to get a Kman's opinion here before we go. I've been one of the things I've been real skeptical about these commodity currencies is they should have been a lot stronger with the entire rally and risk with gold,
Good point.
commodities just in general. Well, maybe not copper, but even when copper was hitting all-time highs before the whole, oops tariff situation.
And
Um,
China's been doing okay. Their markets have been doing okay.
yeah, I mean, Chinese markets have been doing okay. Chinese
Yeah,
economy might be a little bit different story,
yeah.
but yeah, like why aren't commodity currencies? Why haven't they been stronger? So if let's say I'm right, just for argument's sake, which I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong. We might be just in the very beginnings of a stock market bubble. Maybe we're going to see 7,500 before before we turn lower. But let's just say I'm right. And let's just say this winter, markets turn lower. People start to say these higher rates are biting. Maybe we don't get the rate cuts that we are hoping for. Who knows? And stocks start to come down. Does the Aussie really go higher in that environment if stocks start to come down? What are your thoughts with that, Kay?
Well, no, well, that's an open door question, right? If everything goes bad in the world, your commodity currencies can't rally. That's a fact. Um, I'm I'm actually because I'm while we were talking about all of that, I was looking through a few charts, and trying to see maybe it's good to have a look at for instance what EURAUD has been doing over the last years. Okay, and it has been ticking up. So indeed, Aussie has been and Kiwi Kiwi as well, because Aussie Kiwi, well, okay, they haven't been doing very well. I think it's just the global slide of commodities that has been happening as well. And you know what? Bit of trade wars, the situation in US, Europe versus China not doing well. It may all have had an impact on all of it. Because if you look at the ultra long term, yeah, the one you're looking at there, for instance, in Euro Kiwi,
Yeah.
we are at a halfway point, right?
Yeah. I
We are at a
mean,
halfway point. So.
this is just to make sure everybody's on the same page here. That right there is a 1,300 pip move just to get from the 50% retracement to the
Mm,
618.
mm.
And that's the GFC. And this is the Euro Kiwi.
Mm.
So, I mean,
And
a lot of
and
people are
also
looking at
don't
this as a
forget that
double
if you look
top,
at if you look
but
at numbers 2011, 2013, okay, that Euro Kiwi decline over there, 2011,
mm,
2013, yeah, that one is the European crisis after the Greek debt crisis and everything. So yeah, I would still say that we are somewhere in the middle, but they are de facto not showing more strength than anything else. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
So I'm not sure whether they are really underperforming, but they have been a kind of thing. They have been a bit sluggish. But that's long term, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about this, like 2.01. I'm just going to do this real quick. 1.99 and 213. So 213. And let's just say you get long on a breakout. Let's say you buy, 300,000 in currency. 300,000 in currency. I mean, basically on a breakout, you're risking 3 grand to make 2,300 euros. So that's basically risking $4,000 to make 25 grand on a breakout. Because that's how I'm going to play it. Just so you guys know my longer term view here. Because a lot of people have been talking about, oh, it's a double top. I'm like, no, it's just a double top is building stops. It's just all it's doing is building stops above that $2 level. We break above $2, and this thing is going. It's going a lot higher, and I'm with you on that, Kman, and that's something that we got to be thinking as we go into this winter. And remember, if you want to have conversations like this, you should be in the Forex Analytics chat room having conversations with us about this. All right, so Dale, I want to thank you for guiding us every single week. I hope you have a wonderful 3-day weekend. You're in
Thank you,
Southern
bro.
California, so go stick your feet in the sand for me. I wish I was sitting next to you with my toes in the sand too.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I want to thank you guys for all your hard work again this week and trying to keep people out of trouble and give them some actionable things for free. But if you guys remember a song by Green Day, it was Wake Me When September Ends. You don't want to be asleep in September. And one way to not be asleep is to have stimulus of other people around you. Get into the chat room for September, or you'll be playing that Green Day song, Wake Me Up when September ends.
Well,
So
maybe we're going to be singing Wake Me Before You Go."
we could, yeah, we'll sing everything, but we're going to be on the right side of a lot of stuff. And F.A.C.E is really, if you love F.A.C.E, there's no way you're not going to love what happens inside the paywall. Okay. So have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy college football and full swing. And who knows what's going to happen over the weekend, but we'll
Hey,
be
Ole Miss is
here.
playing Georgia State this weekend. My
Oh,
son's first Ole Miss game.
yeah, well, that should be a cakewalk. Georgia State, right? It's
They
always
should
the
be.
yeah, it's like a warm-up game this weekend for you. You'll have strong teams against weak teams. It's like they're playing the JV. So anyway, have a great weekend, team. Kman,
Thank
have
you,
a good
Dale.
one.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Kay.
You
Have a
and
good long weekend, guys.
everyone out there feels rooting for the Buckeyes over Texas. That's going to be one heck of a game. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, but there's going to be big stuff, especially 97.10 in the dollar index is going to be like the dollar's last chance. It's about 100 lower for it to hold and then turn back up again. So I think we'll see that in September. A lot of key things, inflection points, looking for big things into. That's Grega looking for a wave 5. That could be. But there is one more option that we could hold that B wave there. Uh, maybe try it, the 97.10, after that first break that we had. Yeah, and not make new lows. So we'll see. That be what, about 117.90 or so in euro. That means it wouldn't get up to 120. So either
And
way, go ahead.
Dale, I mean, with that euro, just because you're talking about it, this is still a Gartley pattern, and it still suggests 120. I mean,
Okay.
it
Maybe it's
does.
destiny, but I'm with you if we get up there, Blake. And
Yeah,
that should be 95 Dixie around there.
yeah.
So we're either topping or there's one more jiggle to the upside, but I think that's going to be a big trade on the alongside the dollar setting up here. Okay, so still a lot of dollar bears. They're getting more and more reinforced, and I think they'll have some hubris at 120. So that's all I have. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Enjoy your time off, recharge your battery. I know I need it, so I know you guys need it too. And we'll see you all Tuesday.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
Coach.
holiday. All right, adios, everyone. Thank you, Dream Team. See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a nice long weekend, Dale.
All right, you too, Blake. You too, Kay. You too, everybody. You too, Face. Adios.